Hello dear students, welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we are going to talk about three news articles. Okay, so first, in the first news, we'll journey back 77 years to the dramatic events of Operation Polo. Then we'll celebrate Engineers Day by tracing India's engineering journey. Then finally, we'll cheer for our Indian women boxers who brought home gold medals at the World Championships. Okay, so let's start with the first news. Students, the year was 1947 and India had just gained independence. But you know that when India got independence, the new nation was like a puzzle and it basically required many pieces to fit together. So, जब इंडिया को इंडिपेंडेंस मिला था तो उस टाइम पर देयर वर अप्रॉक्स 500 princely states. 500 princely states were there. मतलब 500 रूलर्स वर देयर कि कुछ राजा महाराजा निजाम सब रूल कर रहे थे 500 princely states में. So each ruled by kings and nawabs. Most of them joined India willingly. Okay, but there were few states. Uh, Basically, they wanted to remain independent. So we are going to talk about Hyderabad. Hyderabad students was no ordinary state. Okay, Hyderabad was huge. ऐसा नहीं था कि कोई नॉर्मल सा कोई स्टेट था. नहीं, हैदराबाद बहुत बड़ा था. It had larger, it was basically larger than many European countries. बहुत सारी यूरोपियन कंट्रीज से भी बड़ा था वो. देखो ना यहाँ पे लिखा है 2 lakh square kilometer and 16 million people were living there. ओके, 16 मिलियन पीपल लोग वहां पे रह रहे थे. 2 lakh square kilometer एरिया था. तो हम कह सकते हैं कोई ऐसा छोटा सा कोई प्रिंसली स्टेट नहीं था, बहुत बड़ा था. ओके, सो most of its population was Hindu, but its ruler, the hereditary Nizam, was Muslim. Now, in 1947, what happened? The ruler was Mir Usman Ali Khan. Okay, and he was of Asaf Jah dynasty, and he was basically known for his immense wealth. Some even called him one of the richest men in the world. Okay, one of the richest men in the world. So he was the Jahi dynasty, and the Nizam dreamed of staying independent, directly connected to Britain even after the British left India. Okay, so basically he believed Hyderabad could exist as a separate nation, like a small kingdom inside India. But there was a big problem. Hyderabad was right in the middle of India. एकदम मिडल में है. So if it stayed independent, India would be cut into two parts. And Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was India's first home minister, was deeply worried. He famously said, what he said? Yes. So he said that Hyderabad would become an issue if it left alone. Okay. Now, how did the revolt started? See, meanwhile, what is happening? Uh, all see, ministers were basically worried, right? Our leaders were worried. At the same time, inside Hyderabad, the common people were unhappy. Okay, the agricultural system was unfair and exploitative. So farmers and small landholders, they were basically struggling under heavy taxes and harsh treatment. So by the 1940s, what happened? Yes, a movement started. Okay, a movement started to grow. It began with Telugu speaking people who formed the Andhra Mahasabha, Andhra Jan Sangam. They also formed Andhra Jan Sangam. Okay, and soon it basically expanded into a much larger movement called Andhra Mahasabha. तो पहले आंध्र जन संगम था, फिर वो एक्सपैंड होके आंध्र महासभा हो गया. And they had the support of CPI. Okay, so what they wanted, they basically demanded land reforms and justice. But the Nizam did not like this at all. Instead of listening to the people, he backed a militant group. Okay, so he backed a militant group, and this militant group uh, was led by Kasim Razvi. Okay, Kasim Razvi, and they also had armed wing. So their armed wing, the Razakars, roamed the countryside with guns and swords, and they burned villages, uh, they attacked protesters, and they created a climate of fear. So this made the situation even worse. The common people, they wanted freedom and equality, while the Nizam and the Rizakars wanted control and power. So it was, sort of a ticking time bomb. So by the June 1948, what happened? Negotiations had failed, and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel realized that there was no peaceful way left. So in the June month, he wrote to the Prime Minister Nehru saying that I feel very strongly that a stage has come when we should tell them quite frankly that nothing short of unqualified acceptance of accession and of introduction of undiluted responsible government would be acceptable to us. So finally, government launched a military action called Operation Polo. Okay, Operation Polo. So Indian Army sent in two infantry brigades. Okay, two infantry brigades, and uh, a strike force, which was basically supported by Air Force. And the operation began in September. Yes, operation began in the month of September. Date was 13 September 1948. And in just 4 days, Indian forces advanced rapidly and surrounded the Hyderabad city. So by September 17, what happened? The Nizam surrendered. All right? Yes. And after surrendering, after surrendering, the Nizam made a radio announcement. He basically He said that the Razakars are now banned. He banned the Razakars and urged the people to live in peace and harmony with the rest of India. So the state was placed under temporary military rule initially, and by 1949, a civilian government took over, and by 1952, what happened? Elections were held, and Hyderabad was now truly part of India. Right? So, what lesson can we learn from this? See, sometimes national unity requires tough decision. Okay, it's not always rainbows and sunshine. Sometimes it requires tough decisions, because it is also important to rebuild trust and harmony afterwards. Right? So, that is the story of Hyderabad. And now we'll talk about September 15. See, students, September 15 is National Engineers Day in India. It's a day to celebrate the visionaries who design, build, and innovate, and basically shape the world we live in. So, this day, September 15, is also celebrated as the birth anniversary of Sir Vishwesaraya, and he was basically one of India's greatest engineers. Okay, he was known for building irrigation dams, modernizing water systems, and laying the foundation of India's industrial growth. Okay, so he lived to be 101 years old, and his life's work continues to inspire engineers today. Okay. Now, students, this article also contains the journey of Indian engineering. Okay. So, engineering in India has a long, rich history. So, think of first Indus Valley civilization. It had its advanced city planning, drainage system, sturdy brick houses. Thousands of years ago, ये सारा कुछ था. Can you imagine? Proper planned city थी, drainage system था. Now, fast forward to today, uh, we have digital highways, artificial intelligence. So, engineers have always been problem solvers. They design roads, bridges, communication network, and today India produces about 1.5 million engineering graduates each year. Okay. At the same time, students, 21st century brings new challenges. क्या 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 चैलेंजेस है, जैसे ऑटोमेशन, डेटा प्रोटेक्शन है, रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी है, एडवांस्ड हेल्थ केयर है. तो इंजीनियर्स इन सभी चेंजेस के फ्रंट में है. फॉर एग्जांपल, बायोमेडिकल इंजीनियर्स दे डिजाइन लाइफ सेविंग इक्विपमेंट. एनर्जी इंजीनियर्स दे डेवलप क्लीन एनर्जी. ओके. एआई स्पेशलिस्ट हैं जो एआई को यूज करके स्मार्ट सिस्टम क्रिएट कर रहे हैं. सो इंस्टीट्यूशंस अक्रॉस इंडिया आर अपडेटिंग देयर एजुकेशन सिस्टम सो दैट फ्यूचर इंजीनियर्स जो है, they are ready to face these global challenges. Okay. So National Engineers Day, students, it reminds us of very important thing, that every bridge, every clean water project, every smartphone app all exists because of engineers. So if you love solving puzzles, designing things, maybe you could be an engineer too, right, in future. All right. So that's all about Engineering Day. Now, students, before we wrap up, let's celebrate some knockout news. So, at the World Boxing Championships in Liverpool, two of our Indian boxers brought home gold medals. Okay. Uh, yes. Minakshi Lumba and Jasmine Lamboria. Minakshi Hooda and Jasmine Lamboria. So, Minakshi Hooda defeated Kazakh, uh, Kazakh champion Nazim. Okay, and in the women's 48 kg final, and Jasmine also defeated Julia. Okay, in the 57 kg final. So India's total final tally is two gold medals, one by Minakshi and Jasmine, and one silver, one by Nupur, one bronze, one by Pooja Rani. So their victories are proof of what dedication and hard work can achieve, and a reminder to students, never give up on your dreams. All right. तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा प्राउड मोमेंट है हमारे लिए. मीनाक्षी एंड जैस्मीन, दे ब्रॉट गोल्ड मेडल फॉर अस, सो really really we should be proud of them. All right, students, so that will be all for today, and thank you for listening. Stay curious, stay inspired, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.